keep your rhythm.
You can also conduct.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
It's in 4/4. No, it's not. Okay. It's Prokofiev. It can't be in 4/4. That's not allowed. It's a Russian romantic composer. No 4/4 time. All right.
Great.
At another fantastic MyES webinar. Welcome. Good evening.
Welcome, everyone.
Flowers.
Look at those.
They're
What did you say they were called?
They're called campanula. I got them at the market.
Campanula.
They're so
They
cute.
are beautiful. Yeah.
Opening
That.
little. I just love them. They make me very happy. So, yes. And how are you today, this evening?
I am wonderful. I'm having a lovely evening with you and our lovely students. It's great to be here. It's been a busy day for me, like I said, but busy with work, with teaching, but it's quite nice.
Nice, lovely.
It just goes quickly and you feel involved.
Yeah, it's been a little rainy, but that's okay. We're indoors.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm happy to have the flowers with me here. They make me very happy. I had a lovely webinar with you previously, though we didn't use the personality tree with the numbers.
No, that was a good decision.
Yeah, you know, these are live webinars, so anything can happen.
Exactly. We're just spending time with each other and with you guys watching.
Exactly.
And we want to be responsive and natural and just enjoy being here. Katerina. Shall I read?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Katerina from Livorno, not so far from Pisa. It takes 20 to 30 minutes by car. I remember, Katerina. I remember you. Hello.
Hello, Katerina.
How are you this evening? How are you this evening? Tell us.
Tell us. Have you had dinner? Have you had dinner, pal?
No, I had a carrot.
Right. And I had a green apple.
You had a green apple.
I did. So our question for you all is, what are you passionate about? So why don't we do this? Before we say what we're passionate about, let's introduce each other. So I'll start. This to my right here, this is Hal. He is from Sussex, which is an area of outstanding beauty in the United Kingdom. He loves red apples and carrots, and he lives in Bologna, and he also loves the color purple.
Well remembered. Great, thank you. This is Monique, my lovely colleague.
Oh, yeah.
She is, did I do that right? Yeah. She is from Los Angeles on the distant West Coast,
yes,
the US of A. An incredible place to come from. And she likes green apples and fennel, and fennel, and fennel, and fennel.
I love fennel.
Yeah, it goes, I mean, that's just very important to say. She's also in Bologna. We're coming to you live from Bologna.
Yes, indeed.
I think she's been, I can't remember, she's been in Bologna for, I'm going to say 4 years.
Actually, only 2 years.
Oh, 2, okay.
Yeah. How long have you been in Bologna?
6 months.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So like a third of the time in your apartment.
Yeah, exactly.
And Catherine says, I've played the piano since I was a child. And so in this difficult period, I usually play it. That's fantastic. Fantastic. I will give you, Katerina, this is for you. Beautiful. It is an interesting, yes, you got it, Katerina.
Oh, I lost you. Now I can't click through. Anyway, it is an interesting way to spend my free time, but I'm passionate about cooking food. Okay.
Fantastic. That's beautiful.
We seem to have lost. Hello.
Hi, I got lost.
Just coming back, I think.
I am
Hey.
Hey, hello. just bopped out and came back. I accidentally moved my finger and the mouse clicked out. So I was like, mouse, no.
I thought it was because of the wonderful bell, that the bell had, I don't know, yeah, disturbed.
So I am passionate without the D, passionate about cooking.
Yes,
exactly. That's lovely. Katerina, who are your favorite composers of piano music? Who are your favorite composers? I also love the piano. Beautiful instrument. I learned how to play Fantasy Impromptu by Chopin. It took me 2 years to learn it. And then now I don't play piano. Really, I don't have one. So I think it's sad. But I love that. I love piano music. Yeah. And you, Hal, what are you passionate about?
It's such a good question. I'm passionate about, what comes to mind? Poetry comes to mind. Film. I love the cinema. I love being in a cinema. And I say the cinema specifically. I love going to the cinema more than I love films, more than I love movies. I like the activity. Yeah. I don't care. I go on a usually once a week. I go and I'll just see whatever's there, and it's lovely. Nice. Huh?
You like the experience of going.
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, also I like films, which isn't a coincidence. Sure. But I really love going to the cinema with people, with friends especially.
Yeah.
And what else? Prison reform. There we go.
Great.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I really am passionate about that, I guess. Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina from Geneva. Sabrina, we're asking, what are you passionate about? We want to know, what are you passionate about? So Katerina is passionate about cooking and about piano music. Hal is passionate about prison reform, cinema, and
poetry.
Yeah. And I am passionate about music and about music and about human rights. Yeah. For sure. Katerina says, I started with classical music, then now I study jazz and blues. Cool. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Very cool. I'm also passionate about how music can be an act of revolution, can be an act of visibility, right? I think there's a lot of in the arts. I'm passionate about the arts. Sabrina says, I'm passionate about eating.
Yes.
This is good. It is a good time to be passionate about eating. This is an activity we can do. Very nice, Sabrina. Wonderful. So let's take a look at our lovely focus of the day. So, talking about the past. Do you have a good memory, Hal?
No.
Nor do I. So we'll just see what trying to talk about the past.
Guys, it's the blind leading the blind. We don't know. We don't know.
The blind leading the blind. So, and we have.
Yeah. I'm passionate about cinema too. Cool. I graduated in cinema at the university in Pisa in November. Lovely. Katerina, tell me, who is your favorite director at the moment, maybe? I just started watching Nanni Moretti's films. I discovered them, and they are so much fun. So I've been watching them every evening for the last few days.
Another fantastic Italian director is Pasolini.
Oh, incredible.
Have you seen Hawks and Sparrows, where the raven is the philosopher?
Yes.
That film is amazing. Just such a work of art. Katerina, congratulations. Tell us, Hal is asking, who is your favorite director? Raisa, so nice to see you. Flowers for you, Raisa.
Flowers.
Bologna. I live in Bologna. When I was a child, I loved music, but at the moment, I'm passionate about driving. I really like driving fast. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. I am passionate, we would say, about driving.
Wow. exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also like driving. I don't know if I'm passionate about it, but I like to drive fast.
I can't drive.
Oh, really? Hey,
Mm.
Grace says thanks. Good vibes.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. And Antonio,
Hey,
I'm
Antonio.
it was a fairly day old chat. Spiffing.
Spiffing day old chat. It's like really, it's really like old British slang, like really old fashioned. Yeah.
That's
A
fantastic. Very nice.
spiffing day means
Yeah,
a good day. I don't
good.
know why.
Lovely. So we're waiting for Katerina to tell us who her favorite director
Yeah,
is.
because I want to know. Meanwhile, did we read them already? See, I can't remember.
No, we haven't, but Hal, who is your favorite director?
Oh, at
I
the
am going to
moment,
say Luis Buñuel right now, just because.
okay. At the moment, well, no, I'm just going to say Paul Thomas Anderson. I love his films.
Fabulous.
There we go.
Now we
In
can
this,
dive into our focus objectives for this focus activity. Go.
exactly. We have talking about yourself, past simple and past continuous, and talking about experiences.
Oh, yes. And we all have at least a few experiences that we can tell if we want to. So, our first question says, where were you born and raised? So remember, to be raised is to be brought up. Where and what did you study? It could be primary, secondary school, college, university, master's, professional degree. So where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Surrey, near London. I was brought up there. My parents still live there, so
Wow,
we never moved home when I was growing up. I think they moved to that house just before I was born.
nice.
So I lived my whole childhood was in this one place just outside of London.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it
How about
nice?
you? It big question, but no, because I mean the actual area is very, 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 very boring. It's
Really?
because it's kind of the big suburb around London, and there's no there, as we say. There's nothing there. I mean, it's very nice and it's very quite wealthy, but it's quite soulless. It doesn't have a lot of character. It doesn't have a lot going on.
So did that bring you to want to do art and theater?
I think probably it had an influence. Yeah, I'm
Interesting.
sure it did.
Wow.
Because Surrey is rather boring.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Rome, wasn't I? Nice. Okay, I think I remember correctly. Antonio was in a class that me and Kendra did earlier about tags, about question tags. Like,
Wow.
you were born and raised in Los Angeles, weren't you? So this is perfect, Antonio, except why would you use a question tag for yourself? We don't use, I think you know this, Antonio. It's quite funny to use a question tag about me because I'm not asking the question to me. I'm not saying,
Fantastic, though. But he doesn't remember.
maybe you don't remember. Yeah, you wake up one day and you say, oh, I was born and raised in Surrey, wasn't I? I don't remember. I'm asking myself a question.
I think it's great. Fantastic.
It's great. I like it.
Very cool. Yeah. Oh, and here's your answer, Hal.
Great, thank you. Alan Polanski, Fellini, good. One of my favorite films is The Piano Player. Great film, wonderful film. And it's the story of the Second World War, we would say seen through the eyes, interesting phrase in English, seen through, like you look through a window. You see something through the eyes of of a Jewish pianist who survives the occupation in Poland, exactly.
Excellent. That's great, Katerina. Yeah, I
Thank
like
you, yeah.
it. For sure. Just funny New York humor. New York humor is New York humor. I mean, yeah, classic. That's great. Thank you, Katerina. Wonderful. Sorry, I'm confused in this moment. No problem. So tell us now, everyone. We want to know where and what did you study? Where and what did you study? So tell us. We want to know. Did you study biology in Costa Rica? Did you study natural sciences in South America?
Astrophysics in Moscow.
Did you study theology in the Ukraine?
Great.
Let's give a few more. Did you study
Okay, don't let it. Yeah. Did you study?
astronomy in northern Finland?
Did you study? Is this a word? Chiropody. If you go see it, what do you call someone who looks after your feet?
Oh,
Chiropodist.
podiatry. Podiatry.
Podiatry? Okay, podiatry. Is that what you would say? Did you study podiatry in Malaysia?
Fantastic. Maybe someone did. There could
Someone did.
actually did.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sabrina says, I was born in Crotone, lovely town in Calabria. I have been to Crotone. And I was raised in Genova, in English without the V, right? Genoa. Genoa. Precisely in Busalla, near Genoa. I attended primary and secondary school there. I graduated in Genoa. Fantastic.
Lovely.
Wow. So I wonder how old you were, Sabrina, when you moved from Crotone to Genoa. That's very cool. And well, let's see, Hal, where and what did you study?
I went to school. I went to a school near Birmingham, actually, a state boarding school.
Nice. How old were you?
In the UK. I was 11.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. I also went to boarding school.
Did you? Okay. There we go. And then in where?
For 1 year in Rome when I was 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was great.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was excellent. I saw concerts and explored.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
Yeah, it wasn't that fun. I didn't like it that much. Towards the end it was okay.
I'm looking where it is.
But yeah, I'd say it wasn't that much fun. It was okay. And then afterwards I went to university, which was great. And then I did a master's then I moved to Manchester and did a master's there as well.
Nice. Do you like the Manchester accent?
I love it.
Oh, it's so sweet, right?
I love it. It's really, really sweet. It's adorable.
Yeah,
yeah.
The Manchester accent is adorable. Yeah, so Manchester in the north of England, right?
Exactly.
My best friend's ex-boyfriend is from Stockport. I think I mentioned.
Yeah, you did, because I said I used to live very, very near to Stockport.
Yeah. His name is Kenna, and he's a professor. I don't know. I think he lives in London now, but he has a doctorate in film archiving. He's really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a really cool and rather what's a good descriptive word? Very interesting, right? Very colorful.
Okay.
Say that, yeah.
Yeah.
They dated for like 2 years and then they were just so different. It wasn't. But we had said with my friend that if she didn't get married and he didn't get married for 10 years, then they would marry. But then he got married after like 9 years. So.
Oh, 9.
Oh, well. Sabrina says, I moved to Genoa when I was 2 years old. Okay, very young. Very young. That's fantastic. Good. So, anyone else would like to say where and what did you study? Yeah. Hal, what did you study?
I studied English literature.
How nice. And your master's?
My master's was in creative writing and contemporary literature and contemporary. Yeah.
That's awesome. Says, I graduated in cinema at the University in Pisa in November and now I study English and French. Très bien, Katerina. Ça, c'est fantastique. Do you speak French, Hal?
No, I wish. I want to learn it if I ever feel that I've got my Italian somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Have we read this one? No. Would you like to read the first
Sure.
one?
I was born in Livorno when I grew up with my family and my older sister. Sorry, where I grew up with my family and my older sister. But she has lived in Berlin for about 1 year for work, and so now she's stuck there.
Intense, yeah. And Raisa says, I was born in Moldova in the small and nice town. How nice. I studied primary and secondary school in my careful town, but I studied at the famous university in the city. Very nice. So I studied, Raisa, the spelling, I studied yeah, very cool. That's so interesting. Have you ever been to Moldova?
No, never.
Why? I would love to visit.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Okay, fantastic, everyone. So now we have talking about the past here. We want to match the left hand column and the right hand column. I'll read the left, and Hal, maybe you could read the right. So we have, I was born, I just grew up, I went to, I studied both, I worked at, and I went back to.
And on the right, we have in the country, an art school, outside of Vienna, school to get a master's in art history, a gallery for a while, history and visual arts.
Yeah, a gallery is where artists show their work, generally, right? So we want to match these. So you tell us which match with which. You know, there's many, many art galleries in the city we live in Bologna.
There are so many.
It's so cool. And there's a comic festival called Bilbol.
Yes, I remember, because I think I was here when it happened.
Yeah, it's usually in November. I love it. I volunteered for it 2 years ago, right when I moved here. I moved here in August, and then I volunteered for the festival, and it was so much fun, Hal.
Okay, well, next time you'll have to kind of take me around, because I remember it happening, and I kind of saw some stalls and things like that, but I wasn't really involved because I still don't know the city that well or people
Susanna
here.
will take us both around, because Susanna is my friend who owns an independent bookshop in Rome.
Oh, wow.
They sell a lot of comics and stuff. So she always comes, and she's a very good friend. And then I go with her. So I go to all the good shows because she knows writers. It's so cool. Yeah. Katerina says, I've played the piano for years. At the same time, my older sister played guitar, and so we projected some little concerts in our living room where our family simulated the audience. That's amazing.
Oh, that's so amazing. That's so amazing.
Katerina suggests, let's see, I will get my harmonica. We will see if this is correct. I was born.
To be fair, Katerina, it could be grammatically, I was born outside of Vienna, I was born in the country.
It's really fun. I don't know how to play the harmonica. Did I tell you I got this with me 2 years ago by students, former students of mine.
Oh, that's such a lovely gift.
Like 6 months of English together. So they wanted to give me a present. 2 years I never opened it.
Yeah.
And now being at home and stuff, I just got it. See, it's a cute little harmonica. It's in C. It's really jovial and goes along with many things. I'm having a fun time with it. I only play it during webinars, though. It's fun.
So it was, I was born in the country, but like I said, it could have been outside of Vienna.
It could have.
They're both fine grammatically. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, let's hear the second one. I grew up.
Yeah. What does just mean in this context? Can we explain that?
Good question.
Because it's quite a strange use.
Yeah, I would say just is, let's say, what's that area called? Savana is just outside of Bologna, or maybe Pontecchio Marconi is just outside of Bologna. So very close to it, but in the city, just outside. Maybe Surrey is just outside London.
Exactly. I think probably we would say just outside. Exactly.
Valeria is asking, what does grew up? It's a phrasal verb. It means similar to I was raised. I grew up. I got bigger.
Yeah, I got big. I was a child. I grew up. Now I'm an adult. That's the idea, hopefully.
Yeah.
Grew up.
I grew up in Los Angeles. Hal grew up just outside of London, right?
Yeah.
So I hope that's clear, Valeria.
Yeah, because we don't use grow. We have to say I grow up if we want to talk about the experience of moving from being a child to being an adult. Okay.
But here, the flowers grow.
Flowers grow, exactly.
They grow. Ooh, how cool. Sabrina went to an art school. We have many creative people today. How nice. Okay, let's see the next one. I went to, oops, I think she's saying what
that's what it was. But maybe Sabrina went to an art school as well.
30, so I'm thinking everyone's artist.
Yeah, we're like, wow.
Okay, let's see number 4.
Studied, nice. Okay.
Good.
Perfect.
Next one.
I worked.
Good. And the final one is I went back to school to get a master's in art history, right? So after your bachelor's degree, you can get a master's degree, right?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Great job, everyone. So moving forward to my autobiography, can you read through these?
Sure. So it says, use the prompts, use these phrases to present a brief autobiography about yourself. So we've spoken now a lot about our past, ourselves. So examples, e.g., I was born, blah, blah, blah. I grew up, dun, dun, dun. I went to, da, da, da. I studied. I worked in. Then I went to.
It's like Prokofiev. You know
Exactly.
Prokofiev's piece, Peter and the Wolf. Bum, bum, bum,
oh, I do know that. Yeah.
Where every animal is represented by a different instrument, the flute,
right.
I don't know. So cool. Yeah. Katerina, grow up refers to somebody and to grow something. Exactly. Grow up.
But you can also say that, I don't know, you can say like, oh, the baby or the child grows. But in that context, you just mean physically, like biologically, they grow.
Exactly.
So usually when we're talking about the experience of being human and this strange thing of becoming an adult one day, maybe, hopefully never, you grow up. You grow up. Okay, grow is very physical, very biological. Things grow, they get big.
Yeah. Flowers grow. Yeah. Our flowers are growing. I'm watering them. Yesterday, I put them outside so that they could get some sunlight.
Yeah, they're such a nice color. It's amazing.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was something that would be nice to have at home.
Yeah, I might follow your lead.
Nice company. You know how much it costs? Let me show you. You want to guess?
I don't know. €4.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't. Honestly.
Look at that.
I can't wait. You're holding. Oh wow! Good job, me. $3.98.
Cents away.
That's so crazy.
That was good. Yeah.
That is a bargain.
That's amazing. That's amazing. €3.98. Beautiful, like
for some joy.
Yeah, sense their energies. So nice. Just so lovely. So loving. So we want to know, tell us your autobiography. Where have you worked, for example? Where have you worked in your life? So we want to know about your experiences, right? Where have you worked, right? Where did you go? Where did you study, right? Where have you worked? So I worked at a lovely French bistro in Los Angeles where we did wine tasting, and
Ooh,
it was fun. And the
fancy.
owner was from Provence and loved wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds nice.
You worked in your life.
I've worked in a little museum
Nice. In
after I
Vancouver.
graduated. No, in London, I worked for a year in a tiny museum of cartoons in London. It was so nice. It was
What
so
kind of
fun.
cartoons?
Well, it's called the Cartoon Museum, so any kind of cartoons. But when I was there, for example, there was an exhibition of there was sometimes they had stuff like political cartoons, like caricatures and things like that. Sometimes we had stuff on about like from graphic novels,
Love graphic novel.
and sometimes we did stuff, like strip cartoons,
Uh-huh.
everything. It was really fun. I love graphic novels too.
Yeah.
I wish I read them more, but I really enjoy them.
At the library in Bologna, there's so many
Ah,
fantastic graphic novels. Fantastic.
I
I took
haven't
out like
checked.
a pile of them at a time.
Uh-huh.
I generally you can take up to 10 books from the library at a time.
Yeah.
So I usually have at least 3 graphic novels out from the
Mm,
library. In
mm.
fact, I do now. I finished them about a month and a half ago, but
Yeah.
they were really good. If you go, have you been to the library in
Yeah,
Bologna?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
go to
Where are
So you go straight in to the
they? Yeah.
end and then
And
make a
then
left. Go to
left.
the end, and that's where all of the graphic novels are.
I
They're
didn't
great.
know. It
Yeah.
hadn't occurred to me to check. I've actually bought some graphic novels since I've been here, and I didn't think to look in the library.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Bologna is a city with a lot of art students and like
Right.
cartoon
Yeah.
and drawing students. There's a lot of cool graphic novels.
Great
Well,
to
I guess
know.
let's move forward. Maybe people are feeling in a shy mood this evening or hungry.
Maybe.
So let's read about talking about experiences.
Hmm. So we have what tense is used to talk about a finished action in the past. Finished. It's over. Done. It happened.
Yeah. Voila.
Yeah. Never gonna see it again. Oh, we have lost. Ah,
While I was studying
hello.
at university, hello,
Meanwhile,
welcome.
Sabrina. Oh, hey,
Yes.
hey.
Well, I was,
I was.
what's that?
Did you lose me or did I lose you?
Not sure. We lost each other for a moment. Sabrina, so
We
Sabrina said,
lost.
while I was studying at university, I worked as a waitress and assistant in a dental clinic in Bussalia. After university, I have started work in Genoa as a dental hygienist. How interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Remember, we would use the past simple. So after university, I started work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I have started means you still work there now, but you can't use a time marker with the present perfect,
You
right?
would have to say, right, since university, I've worked in Genoa. So since leaving university, I have, but the present perfect would just be I have worked, because start is one point in the past. You started, it's finished. We don't usually use it with present perfect. Sometimes, but not usually.
Yeah.
So I
So
have worked.
since you
Right.
said university, I've worked in Geneva. That's a very interesting field, dental hygienist. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous, Sabrina. Thank you for sharing. So we want to know what tense is used to talk about
Oh,
a
see, these
action.
guys were typing, but I guess it takes a while.
It takes time,
This is
yeah.
great. So, Reza, thank you for writing for us. I worked at customs company in my country when I was young, because at the university I studied law and customs activity. Now I'm working at the airport, at Bologna Airport.
I
It's a
once saw that
duty-free
at
job.
the airport. Yeah, when I flew to
Ah,
to I flew to Israel recently. Well, not very recently. Oops. But in January, and I saw Raisa, and it was so nice to see
That
her.
would be really lovely to see someone in an airport. I feel like airports are quite unfriendly places,
Yeah,
where
not
you,
airports.
yeah.
So a couple of spelling things, Raisa. Customs, country,
Mm,
law, LAW. But
right.
fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, wonderful. That's neat. So you studied in your country. Very cool. Customs. So let's reveal it, Hal, shall we?
Yeah, let's do
Da-da.
it.
Simple and da-da.
Past continuous.
All right.
Exactly.
A farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. It looks like golden fields, though. Quite pretty. Probably grain, right?
Yeah, wait, take the banner down.
Yeah, exactly. Hal, can you read the fine quote?
Sure thing. I grew up in the countryside just outside of Seattle. My parents bought a farmhouse there before I was born. They were trying to live a simple rural life.
Exactly. So we see a
Mm,
mix of past simple and past continuous, right?
right,
I grew
exactly.
up, finished. They bought, finished. Where I was born, finished. Whereas they were trying, we're talking about something in the past, but continuous, right?
Continuous.
Remember, continuous is a continuous action, but it's in the past. So they were
Mhm.
trying. Fantastic. So let's see. Past simple versus the past continuous. Hal, take it away.
The past simple is used to talk about experiences which often have a specified time in the past. For example, we went to the Caribbean last year. So I'm
Exactly.
specifying exactly when, last
Yeah.
year,
Last
specifically.
finished. And then if it was a continuous action, we use past continuous. For example, what were you doing last night? Hal, what were you doing last night?
I was watching a film. I was watching a film. Caro Diario, Dear Diary by Nanzana.
Beautiful film.
It's the first time I've seen it, and that's why I'm in a good mood today. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic film. I want to
Such
watch
a wonderful film.
it. So another example, we were dancing at a nightclub, right? So what were you
I
doing?
wish. I wish.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, we also use the past continuous with the past simple to talk about interrupting action. So we were
Mhm.
in the ocean when we saw a sea turtle, right? So what was my example? My mom called while I was dot 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 ing. That looks terrible. So my mom called while I was something ing, right? Remember, we either use while or when in a sentence, never the both together. So, Hal, can you give an example of this? My mom called.
Sure, my mum called while I was um, while I was painting the fence.
Yeah, or my mom called while I was singing show tunes. Yeah. Raisa says, I'm sleeping very bad last night. So remember, Raisa, if you talk last night, it's finished. So you want to use the past of sleep. I
Yeah,
slept. So I slept poorly last night.
yeah, and we don't use it in the continuous, do we? It's like you sleep, it's done. We don't really say, "Oh, I was sleeping." Not really.
You could, though. I was
You
sleeping.
could. I was sleeping badly, and then I
Yeah.
was sleeping better, maybe. But I
That's
think usually we say, "How did you sleep?" Finished. I slept well. I slept badly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when we're using the sentence with both the past continuous and the past simple, there's an interruption. The past simple is what interrupts. So I was talking on the phone. Oh no, oh, wait. I was watering the plants when my mom called,
Right.
right? Katerina
Oh,
said,
Katerina, I was sleeping when the doorbell rang. Perfect. I was
yeah,
sleeping when plus past simple, the doorbell rang.
yes, fantastic example. Good. Okay, I say let's move forward. So you tell us which is used for which, when or while, a lot of W's. So number one, we use to introduce the past simple. And number two,
we use to introduce the past continuous.
Right. So you tell us what is and what is.
What do they sound like? Perfect. Exactly. Last year, I went to Japan.
Awesome.
Over. Cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. We use when for the past simple. So when I worked at the bank, but that's it. When I went to Japan, I saw many beautiful things. No, that's all in the past. I was fishing when I saw a bird.
Great.
But it's a possible thing. I was teaching a webinar when I got an idea. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, wow, good, Raisa also. Yeah, fabulous. Okay, excellent. Remember, they're never used in the same sentence, right? So we have a couple of fill in the blanks. Hal, can you read number one?
Sure. When the pizza man,
Yes, so tell us what goes in those blanks. Number two, she, a celebrity, while she to work last weekend.
3, the people soccer in the park when it to rain. I forgot the last bit.
When it okay, was sleeping and arrived. Yes.
Katerina, you are speedy. You are speedy.
Up, right? Great, Katerina, excellent. Yeah. She saw a celebrity while she was driving to work. Fantastic.
The people were playing soccer, in the park when it started to rain. Nice.
They went inside. Good.
Yeah. And hopefully we can see these are good examples as well, because things like arrive, see, start. Oh, number 4. The film. Things like start, see, arrive here, and see in this context they happen once. They're a moment, right? Yes. A moment in the past. While the other ones are activities.
While I was teaching a webinar, I saw a word.
Yeah. Huh? I saw it.
An interrupt.
Arrived, right? Unless they are the queen, they're not arriving for 20 minutes. They arrive. That's it.
Yeah. So he was texting and he was watching. Let's see here. He was texting while he was watching. That could be correct.
Mm-hmm.
He was texting. Let's see. Yeah. Good. Very nice. Katerina, wow, fantastic. Shall we read through the verbs a moment?
Yes. Right. What are stative verbs?
That's a fabulous question. What are stative verbs?
Should I read through it? I was waiting for you to answer the question.
Verbs are verbs that describe how something feels or seems. They are not used in the continuous form.
Mm-hmm. Some examples of stative verbs are have, appear, seem, love, like, hate, believe, understand. Okay.
So keep this fresh in your mind as we go here and want to find mistakes in the sentence on the right. Okay. So number 1 says, I was hating the new Spider-Man movie. I was hating the new Spider-Man movie. And then I started loving it, right? Okay. So can you say I was hating the new Spider-Man movie? So you want to think back to the last slide saying about stative verbs, right? Remember, it's how something feels or seems, not action. So we'll read through them and tell us if they're correct or not correct.
Okay? Exactly. Number 2, she seemed happy after work yesterday.
Number 3, we saw our friends at the supermarket today.
Number 4, I was having a headache.
Number 5, my son was believing in Santa Claus last year.
And number 6, they wanted to go to Ireland on vacation.
Yes, so tell us. Let's look at the first one together. What do you think?
Well,
Or should we let them do it?
Maybe, let's see, Katarina is usually pretty...
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well,
you guys let us know. I would say also that even though it's a good rule, don't use stative verbs in the continuous, sometimes people do when they're talking. No? It's true. It's true, guys. If you have some exam in English, probably obey this rule, follow this rule. But people sometimes say some of these in the continuous. For example, I'm loving your flowers today, Anik.
Me too. Right. Sometimes language evolves. So remember poetic license as well. An important license. Don't leave home without it. Okay, Katerina is active here. All right, good. I hated the new Spider-Man movie. Number 2
is okay, yeah.
This. Number 3. Number 3 is okay, actually. We saw our friend in the supermarket.
It's like our little bird earlier. We saw.
Yeah. Because remember, today, too, is not just now. It could be this morning. We would still say today. We saw our friends at the supermarket today.
Yeah. Whereas if I say, I'm seeing more of my friends lately, it means over a period of time I see them. I see them for a coffee, and then we go for a drink, and maybe we have dinner one night. I'm seeing them lots. But if I just mean at the supermarket, oh, hi.
Hey, nice to see you. Bye.
Nice to see you. Bye.
Good. Okay, good. I had a headache. Fantastic. Yeah. Believed. Good. Yes. Okay. And the
that one, I would say no one ever says believe in the continuous. I don't think ever. I'm believing.
And Raisa chimes in 5 false and 6 true. Let's see here. And Katerina also says 6 okay. They wanted to go to Ireland on vacation. Indeed, they did. Fabulous. All right, we made it to a fun part. We don't have much time, but we can still try. Hal, can you share your two true?
I just realized I didn't prepare them as you.
Well, invent them. Hal. So I'll tell you all. Hal will share 3 things. 2 are a truth and 1 is a lie. We have to ask questions and guess. We don't have much time, but go for it, Hal.
Okay, I dislocated my knee in Berlin. I grew up with a parrot, and I was born in central London.
Okay, fantastic. So everyone, if you want to ask questions to Hal, now's the time.
15 minutes.
To ask Hal questions. Also, let's remind you as we're coming up on time, remember the MyES SOS Facebook group. So I have a question. See you, bye, Daniel. So what was your parrot's name?
My parents' name? Oh, parrot. Was called Joey.
Joey, okay. Yeah. When did you dislocate your knee and why?
It would have been 2009, 2010, because I was grabbing a pillar and I turned my body and my knee popped out. I had a dodgy knee when I was a teenager. I had a bad knee.
Yeah, a dodgy knee.
Dodgy knee.
A bad knee. And what hospital in London were you born in?
St. Thomas's. St. Thomas's.
So we want to know which is the lie. 2 are true and 1 is a lie. I have an idea. Does anyone else have an idea which is not true? Let's see. Maybe I'll ask you one more question.
Sure.
Is your parrot still alive?
No. My parents' dog killed the parrot when I was at uni.
That's very sad.
Yeah,
my guess is that number 3 is a lie and you were not born in central London.
You were right, because top tip for this game, guys. Never put the lie number 3, because everyone knows, because you go like, what's true, and then you put the lie at the end.
A long time thinking about it. So this is quite a fun game if you haven't played it. You can also try it at home during quarantine with your friends. You can do it in Italian, in English, in Moldovan, in any language. You tell 3 things and ask your friends or your family to guess which one is true and which is a lie, right?
Exactly.
Thank you very much, everyone, for your participation. This has been lovely. We wish you a wonderful dinner and a wonderful evening. Thank you, Hal. It has been delightful.
You too. Absolutely.
Cheers. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.